Hey guys, LevelCap here. We're back after a short break, and today in gaming, a treasure trove of Battlefield 6 screenshots hit the web. Warzone is getting a lighting fix, there might be a new Tony Hawk game on the way, and much more. A treasure trove of screenshots allegedly from the Battlefield 6 reveal trailer hit the internet over the past few days. Several GIFs compiling all of the leaked images in order have started spreading on Reddit and social media, giving us a clearer sense of what the leaked trailer might actually look like. They reportedly represent about 80% of the trailer. Unfortunately, there's not a ton to go on. The images certainly look compelling and somewhat authentic. However, as with all leaks, these screenshots are speculation until proven otherwise. They show a handful of scenes, including a formation of Osprey helicopters flying towards a rocket launch site. It shows soldiers assaulting on foot, an Osprey crashing to the ground, a robot dog running, a rocket launching and then exploding shortly after, soldiers running from the debris, and finally the Battlefield logo. And before we continue with the rest of today's story, here is a quick word from today's sponsor. Are you a guy? Based on my channel analytics, I'm gonna say probably yes. And did you know that there's something that affects 2 out of every 3 guys in the world? Unfortunately, it's hair loss. There's a good chance you'll experience some form of male pattern baldness by the time you're 35. The good news is today's sponsor, Keeps, can help you out. They offer at-home treatments delivered every 3 months and generic versions of the only 2 FDA-approved hair loss products. Prevention is key. The sooner you start using Keeps, the more hair you'll save. Keeps treatments can take a few months to see the results, but they'll be worth the wait. So if you're noticing a bit more hair in the drain or your forehead is turning into a 5-head, check Keeps out today by going to keeps.com/levelcap. Using my link gets you 50% off your first order. Click on the link in the video description, and thanks again to Keeps for sponsoring this video and giving you guys an alternative to looking like the villain from a bad spy movie. Alright, now the rub with these new Battlefield screenshots is that they're likely from an internal trailer DICE put together to show EA or investors, so while all the leaks might be genuine, they might also be wildly inaccurate or out of date. Rumors have suggested the next Battlefield game will simply be called Battlefield. DICE and EA have commented that the game is a live service title intended to get long-term support. There's also been comments and hints suggesting a larger player count, enhanced destruction in a modern setting, which also jive with the rumors and supposed leaks. Now, fortunately for everyone who's been on this wild leak roller coaster, we're not that far off from the proper reveal. DICE will be unveiling the next Battlefield game sometime in June. Multiple studios, including DICE LA and Firestorm developer Criterion, are working on post-launch content while also supporting DICE Sweden. So it's likely EA are planning a massive rollout of Battlefield content for years to come. Hopefully that includes a healthy dose of new maps, weapons, and other content. Certainly one of the biggest questions left unanswered is if DICE are planning to go toe-to-toe with Warzone. Despite Firestorm's failure to attract an audience, it had the bones of a solid Battle Royale mode. The destruction added so much to the game, vehicles were implemented, and the map was gorgeous, but being locked behind a paywall and not getting proper support it needed ultimately killed Firestorm. But Battlefield has always been a sandbox experience, which is basically the heart of a Battle Royale game. There's also a lot of division about the next Battlefield game offering a Battle Royale mode. Some players think Criterion deserves a shot at redemption, others believe DICE should stick to the franchise's core offerings. But if anyone can do a large-scale modern military Battle Royale mode right, it's probably DICE. In Warzone news, the blinding lens flare caused by the new lighting on Verdansk 84 is finally getting fixed. It helps most frequently when looking outdoors from the interior of a building. There's also an issue with how pupil simulation is rendered when looking through windows. This causes the outside of a building to look overly bright. It's an effect many games employ to give a more realistic look to the lighting, but in Warzone's case, it's just a bit too much. A developer working on the game has promised to address the intensity of the sun flares, but the other issues may require a little bit more demand from the community. Now, just a quick reminder that if you enjoy our gaming news coverage, please consider subscribing. We do these videos 6 days a week. Subscribing ensures to get all the latest gaming news, and it helps us reach even more gamers out there. It sounds like Activision are making a follow-up to Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1+2. The remake was a smash hit among both fans of the original game and a new generation of gamers alike. Activision moved Vicarious Visions onto development of the Diablo 2 remake after finishing their work on Tony Hawk Pro Skater, leaving future entries in the remake franchise uncertain. But the drummer for the band CKY, Jess Margera, dropped a hint that a new game might be on the way. He said on a podcast back in April that the band is working on licensing their music for the new Tony Hawk Pro Skater game. And this was well after the 1+2 remake launched. Hopefully, this means we're getting a Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3+4 sometime soon. The developer's social media accounts for Crysis are implying that a Crysis 2 remaster is in development. They posted a tweet on May 20th that said, "They used to call me Prophet. This is how Prophet's character is introduced at the start of Crysis 2. The following post from the game's Twitter account included a screenshot that looks like it's from Crysis 2. All signs point to another remaster. Many fans of the franchise wonder why Crytek would bother with remastering the second game considering how well it looks and runs today. The obvious answer is next-gen console support. But are Crytek also making these remasters to build hype for Crysis 4? That seems likely, but it's also an incredibly expensive way of building hype for such a legendary franchise. Crysis is a household name for millions of gamers around the world. Just announcing Crysis 4 would probably be enough to hype everyone up. So maybe Crytek are just trying to preserve their legacy. Either way, it would be cool if these remasters eventually led to a fourth game that finally lived up to the potential we've seen glimpses of across all three games. Rainbow Six Siege is getting a new defender that has a pretty crazy gadget. Thunderbird will be introduced in Operation North Star, and her gadget is called the Kona Healing Station. It shoots health shots to both attackers and defenders, providing that they're standing in its radius. It's basically a Doc auto turret. Downed but not out players can also manually interact with a Kona station to revive themselves. The operation is also making some significant changes to the fundamental design of Siege. Dead players will now be replaced by their character's emblem instead of remaining on the floor as a body. Single bullets won't create holes in breakable surfaces. Smoke's gas grenades have been updated with a new propagation that prevents them from spreading through walls. The favela map has been reworked. One of the other notable changes is that Mira's gadget and bulletproof cameras will shatter when meleeed. They'll still function as intended once shattered, but you won't be able to see through them anymore. All in all, it sounds like Operation North Star is going to be a very controversial update to hardcore fans. The long-standing issues with the PC port of Halo are finally getting addressed. Gearbox originally did the port in 2003. Unfortunately, it broke or lacked several visual effects, texturing, and rendering technologies present in the original Xbox version. While it's still an okay-looking port, comparing the original release with the PC port side by side highlights some glaring differences. 343 are previewing several changes coming to the Halo Master Chief Collection version of Halo 1. These include fixed bump maps, missing transparency effects, energy shields that change color based on their remaining health, missing fog, and more. None of these improvements are earth-shattering, but they do help preserve the original vision of the game for generations to come. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds developers have announced yet another standalone game based on the iconic Battle Royale. This time around, it's a game based on the Battle Royale's Western custom mode. Its working title is Project Cowboy. Players will roam in an open-world environment and are limited to Old West-style guns like revolvers and repeaters. Project Cowboy is the fourth standalone PUBG title announced to date, but none of them have made it to release yet. The closest one is PUBG New State, which is entering alpha playtesting soon. The game is a mobile title based on the original PUBG experience, but with new items and mechanics. The latest expansion for Elite Dangerous launched to mixed reviews thanks to performance issues and bugs. Odyssey adds space legs to the game with FPS combat and planetary exploration on foot, but many players are reporting significant problems. The biggest one is poor performance. As with any major expansion to a game, new bugs are expected, but Odyssey's are bad enough that the studio's head, David Braben, issued a formal apology to players. He promised that the team is working quickly to address all of the reported issues and apologize wholeheartedly to affected players on the game's forums. Hotfixes are rolling out to address critical issues, so hopefully they'll have things under control sooner rather than later. Before we get to our final story today, let us know in the comments what you think about today's stories. We're always interested to hear what viewers think, and there's plenty of juicy topics to talk about today. Sony temporarily disabled LittleBigPlanet's servers because of malicious messages being sent in-game. The franchise is intended for younger audiences and is well regarded as a fun platforming title for the whole family. In recent months, it's been targeted by DDoS attacks and bad actors in an attempt to force Sony to make a new entry in the franchise. Most recently, they've gone the extra mile to start harassing the few players that manage to make it online via in-game messages with vulgar language. Sony shut down the servers to prevent this behavior, forcing everyone to play the game offline. It's unclear if Sony will ever restore the servers. And that wraps it up for today in gaming. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. This is LevelCap signing off.